All right, welcome to Survive to Thrive. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And I did some research this morning looking in the local market where I live. So that would be Palm Harbor. And I did 3 price range searches just to see what the market looks like. I looked at 400 to 450, 450 to 500, and 500 to 550. Now, here's what I got, and I want you to write it down. Even if you're not here in Palm Harbor, I still want you to write it down because I'm going to ask you some questions in just a moment. So from 400 to 450 in Palm Harbor, there are currently 12 active listings. Now, I'll stop right there. If we went back a year and a half, that number would have been 2 or 3. Remember saying there's no active listings when I would talk to real estate agents and I would ask them, what's your biggest challenge? And the answer was always, there's nothing for sale. Okay, so it's a year later and there's 12 active listings between 400 and 450. So for all of your sit on the fence people who are saying, I would sell my home, but where would I go? There's homes for sale. So we can put a stop to that. All right, now, same area, same price range. In the last 6 months, there were 58 sold. That's a lot, right? And you know the formula. We're going to take 58, we're going to divide it by 6 in order to determine how many homes are being sold every 30 days. And the answer, rounded off, is 10. So if there's 12 properties for sale and there's 10 selling every 30 days, we've got less than a month and a half supply of inventory, which means if you're in Palm Harbor and you have a listing priced between 400 and 450, it should sell. It should sell really quick. And if it's not price presentation, it's not marketing, because you guys are rock stars and you're doing everything that you need to do in order to market your listing. So it's price or presentation. In other words, is there a challenge with location? Let's start there. Does it back up to a busy road? Does it back up to industrial area? I talked to a real estate agent the other day who's having a tough time selling a home, and the home backs to an elementary school. Okay, so it's going to be loud during school days. Kids are outside, they're playing, but nobody's there on weekends. So you have neighbors right behind you that don't exist on the weekends. You got to try to find a way to spend this in a positive way, but that could be a challenge. Okay.
Stop.
Otherwise, I'm going to hit mute all just in case I'm picking up background noise that I'm not supposed to. If you want to talk to me, take yourself off mute and talk. All right. Now, same location and 450 to 500,000, there's 25 for sale. So twice as many homes. And 48 sold in the last 6 months. So 48 divided by 6 is 8. So there's 8 selling every 30 days. There's 25 available. We have a 3-month supply of inventory. Now, according to NAR, we're still in a seller's market. Here's the challenge, okay? Homeowners, consumers, and a lot of real estate agents believe that as long as you're in a seller's market, prices should be going up. And maybe that's true sometimes, but maybe it's not true all of the time. Here's the way that I like to present this to sellers when I'm speaking with them. Okay, in order to sell your home, Kim, you got to be one of the top 8 properties that are available. Now there's 25 that are for sale, so that's our competition. In order for your home to sell, you got to beat the competition. And we can't think, okay, all of those, there's only enough listings to last 3 months, therefore all 48 or all 25 will be sold in the next 3 months, because every month there's more homes coming on the market, obviously. And more than likely, 30 days from now, we've even got more homes for sale than we do today. So 30 days from now, there could be 28 active listings or maybe 30 active listings. The market's changing every day. So in order to sell your home, you've got to be one of the top 8 properties that are available. Then look at the competition with them. Show them those 25 properties that are for sale. Show them the pictures. Read the description to them. Talk about how those homes compare to theirs. Now, because you're doing a price range search, you're not looking for comparables to price the property. There's going to be some properties in there that are not competition. All right. For example, if your subject home is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, 2-car garage, it has a pool, and one of the other 25 homes that are for sale in the same price range is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, that's not competition. Somebody looking at a 2-bedroom home is not looking at a 4-bedroom home, vice versa. All right. Now, I'm also going to look at other things like, do they have a pool? Do they not have a pool? Now, in Florida, guys, that's a big deal. All right. I know, Chandra, in Colorado, it's probably not that big of a deal. No, it's not. But in Florida, it is. All right. In Colorado, probably if you have a mountain view, that makes your home a lot more valuable, right? It's kind of like being on the ocean here. All right. So look at the competition and weed out the homes that they're not competing against. All right. Now, we can't just say, okay, cool, there's only 12 homes we're competing against now, and there's 8 selling every 30 days, because you'd have to do the same thing to the solds. In other words, those 48 properties that sold, how many of them are not comparable to the subject property? So you want to be really careful not to get stuck in paralysis by analysis here. This is a math equation, and the math equation is designed to let us know what inventory is. Monica's coming in. Oh, she had something she wanted to share. So 500 to 550. Palm Harbor. There are currently 16 properties for sale. In the last 6 months, 48 sold, which means 8 are selling every 30 days. You have a 2-month supply of inventory. Now, here's something that's interesting. The supply and demand is actually better, more favorable from 500 to 550 than it is 450 to 5. Does that mean you should price the property 5 to 550 if it's going to sell between 480 and 5? The answer is no, because you're not going to be the shining star. And if you're tracking, this is the shining star script. So in order to be one of the 8 properties that are going to sell, you have to beat the competition. In other words, you have to be a shining star. And if we place your home in a higher price bracket, you're competing against homes that are newer, probably a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more updated than yours, and you're not going to be the shining star. All you're going to do is help sell the competition. Now, if we can price your home in the right price range, that $450,000 to $500,000 price range, and we price it to be one of the 8 properties that are selling every 30 days, there's 25 for sale, you're going to sell your home in the next 30 days. Now, the question is, where do you need to be in order to be one of the 8? Now, those are the only searches that I did, but I would encourage all of you to do this with every price range in the market that you work. I would encourage you to do this at least once a week to stay up to date with what's going on in the market. That's what makes you the local economist of choice. And I searched 4 to 450, 450 to 5, and 500 to 550 here in Palm Harbor, because those are pretty average, slightly above average prices here in our market. Now, you do the same thing in your market. If I were to continue to do this, I would have looked at 350 to 400. I don't know if I would have looked below 350, but if I was taking a listing that's the price, 100% I'm doing that. I would have also looked 550 to 6, 6 to 650, 650 to 7, all the way up to $1 million, guys. Now, what if you knew what the market looked like in every $50,000 price range in your local market? What if you internalize that information? Okay. Or cheat, put it on a 3x5 index card and carry those with you. Next time somebody asks you, how's the market? Your answer is, it depends. Shortest script I'm ever going to teach you. It depends. Now, what does it depend on? Well, it depends on location, depends on what type of property you're selling, and it depends on price. Okay, so for example, if I would have done a search, just for example, if I would have done a search from 550 to 6, and let's say there's 18 for sale, and 4 are selling every 30 days. All right. There's 18 for sale and 4 are selling every 30 days. Well, in order to be one of the homes that sell, you need to be one of the top 4. There's 18 available. That's about a 4.5 month supply of inventory. We are creeping towards a buyer's market. And if you knew that, rather than giving them some canned answer that everybody else is giving when they ask, how's the market? Your answer is, it depends. Depends on the type of property you're selling. It depends on location. And it also depends on price. So ask them, where do you live? Based on homes that have sold in your neighborhood, if your home were to sell today, what do you think it would sell for? Now you've got everything you need to know, and you immediately can say, well, in your market, in your price range, there's currently 24 homes for sale and 8 are selling every 30 days. So you've got about a 3-month supply of inventory. It's pretty good. It's still considered a seller's market, but it's moving towards a seller to a buyer's market. You know, it's possible that your home's worth more money today than it will be a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, maybe in the next 5 years. If you knew that was the case, what would you do? Now, isn't that a better conversation than how's the market? Market's awesome. Canned response. Now, I'm going to show you, and I've showed this group this many, many times. So repetition is the mother of learning. So we're going to do a lot of repetition. All right, here's how you are going to determine supply and demand based on every home in your market. If you owned a Lexus dealership, you would want to know how many RX 350s are selling every 30 days in order to make sure that you have the right inventory. Because if you order too many, then you have an overstock and you're losing money. If you don't have enough, you're leaving money on the table because you're not selling as many as you could because you ran out. All right. Real estate's the same way, guys. It's a supply and demand market. All right. Now I'm on a meeting and Chandra's my client. This is her home. All right. It's a single family home. And the comparables tell me that it's going to sell for somewhere between 450 and 740. I don't know where I got that. 740 and 750. Now I'm going in knowing that Chandra is probably thinking 775. Sellers go to script school. We can always start higher. A buyer could always make an offer, and we can always lower the price later on if we don't get any offers. Cool. And besides, before I went on the appointment, I did a soft interview and I asked her, Chandra, based on homes that have sold in your neighborhood, where do you see your home selling? And she says, I need 775. Hold on. Bunny trail. I always want to laugh when they say that and say, you know, not the question. I didn't ask you what you need. I asked you, where do you see your home selling? But no, don't do that. All right. So before I go on the appointment, I am going to search in a 2 to 3 mile radius around that property. Why? Because that's my competition. That's her competition. It's not in her neighborhood. Sellers go to script school. We're the best home in the neighborhood. I have the nicest home in the neighborhood. Our neighborhood is the best neighborhood in the city. Everybody wants to live in our neighborhood. All right. Please help them understand that's just not true. All right. If I'm looking at Chandra's home, I'm also looking at these homes out here. All right. Everything within that 2 to 3 mile radius is competition. Now, I would do a search 700, 750. I would do 750 to 800,000. And possibly I would do 650 to 700, but I'm going to do at least 3 price searches. And is all of the active listings between 700 and 750. So I'm looking, where can I write? I'm looking 700 to 750, and I am looking 750 to 775. All right. So A is all the active listings in this area between 750 and 775. I'm going to start there because I know that's what Chandra wants. I know that's what she's thinking. Okay. Now, B is all of the solds, same area, also between 750 and 775. Now C, I'm going to go back 6 months. All right. Why? Data. All right. I'm going to slow down right here because this is where a lot of people get it wrong. We're not going to only look at the last 3 months or most recent because the market's changed and blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. You need numbers in order for math to work. I need data in order for this to work. So I'm going to go back 6 months in order to get a number that I can divide by 6. It's going to give me a better response than if I just look at the last 3 months. Okay. So B is all the solds in the same price range, same area the last 6 months. C is B divided by 6. In other words, if there were 24 homes sold in the last 6 months, 24 divided by 6 is 4. So C is how many homes are selling every 30 days. Now we have an answer. It's 4. D is A, the number of active listings. Let's say it's 16 divided by C, the number of homes that are selling every 30 days, which would mean we would take 16 divided by 4, which equals 4 months of inventory. Now we know. Now let's say we did the same thing for properties priced from 700 to 750, and it's 3 months of inventory. It's not that different, but it's 3 months of inventory. Instead of there being 4 properties selling every 30 days, let's say there's 5 properties being sold every 30 days. Now the question would be, Chandra, so we can either strategically price your home from 750 to 775, and in that market you have to be one of the 4 properties, one of the best 4 properties out of 16. Or we can strategically price your home between 700 and 750, and in that market you have to be one of the top 5 out of 15. Now, do you have a better chance of selling your home in a market where you have to be one of the top 4 out of 16 in better competition? Or do you have a better chance of selling your home where you have to be one of the top 5 out of 15 in lesser competition? What should we do? All right. That's it. Questions?
Why didn't you just go to 800 instead of 775?
Could have. Probably should have. Good catch, Daryl. Thank you for making me look bad. I could have, and I should have. Yep, you're absolutely right. Good catch. I'll edit that out of the video. Daryl, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking there's some really smart reason why I did that, right? And no. All right. Anybody else?
So the seller is focused on the 775. Maybe that's why you were, displaying that to show that specifically around the 775 range, just to show what her needing that amount would result in.
Yeah, you're right. And thank you for coming to my defense, Tulio. And Daryl's right. In order to keep the searches equal, they both need to be $50,000 ranges. All right. And all I would do is dial in and really focus on that 775 number. Now, if you have a listing that's sitting, you should do the same exercise that I just did with you. Go sit down at their kitchen table, pull out a legal pad and start drawing pictures. All right. Help them understand that in order to sell their home in this market, they have to beat the competition. Now, logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. You're going to present them with logic. Now bring in emotion. In other words, we can keep doing what we're doing, and chances are your home won't sell. And if your home doesn't sell, you're not going to be able to move to blank by blank in order to be with blank. It's possible that the market will shift even further, and 6 months from now, we're not talking 745, 750, we're talking 730, maybe 720. And if you knew that was the case, what would you do? And if you found out a year from now, you could have sold your home a year ago for more money, and now you can't afford to sell your home anymore, and you're here for the next 5 years, how would you feel about that? All right. Gina, how we do? Good? Okay. Guys, I hope you got value. I know for most of you, this is big repeat, okay? And repetition is the mother of learning. Get really, really good at this. I'm telling you, it's one of the things that will make a difference in your real estate business. It'll help you stand out as being different than everybody else who's selling real estate. Most of them don't have conversations like this. Most of them have conversations like, you should move that lamp from here to there. All right, I just offended like 1,000 realtors. Julie, thank you for laughing. All right, guys, make